Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It's me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. With me, of course, is the Welsh, and it's all of you, the Peanuts, the Cracker Jacks, right here on our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's the place to be to watch us live and hang out and interact with the show Monday through Friday, 12:30 Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. And, of course, if you can't be there live, you can always watch us on demand on the YouTube channel, Fantasy Pros MLB. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. Do all that fun stuff. We got a lot to get to today. We got some big stars headed to the IL. We've got America's favorite new pastime. Guess who? That's right. The game that's sweeping the nation is back again. And, of course, we've got some rookie chatter to talk about as well. A lot to get to. But, Welsh, we got to start with a guy who is simply awesome. That's right. It's the Miz, not that Miz.
Oh, I was like, what's this bit? Yeah.
Well, it's a WWE reference, but that's all right. But here we go. We got Jacob Misiorowski, who's striking out everybody and throwing 150 miles an hour every pitch. Let's talk about it. He struck out 10 guys, 0 walks, allowed just 4 hits and 7 shutout innings Wednesday. And that was a no decision against Michael Galley's Padres, so he loved that. The fastball averaged, I want to say this again, averaged 100.6 miles per hour in this start. He retired the final 14 batters he faced. He did leave the game, though, however, in the 8th because he had a quadricep cramp, but again, hoping he's going to be all right. His ERA now sits at 2.12 on the season. He's got 80 strikeouts, 17 walks in 51 innings. It's stunning. That's the most 100-plus mile-per-hour pitches of any game in the pitch tracking era. That's 49 now by Jacob Misiorowski last night. So, Welsh, an incredible performance by Misiorowski, and interesting because we had a conversation on the YouTube live yesterday. Someone asked us, is now the time to really kind of put Misiorowski out there and see if you get a massive overpay? After tonight, man, it's going to take a small country in return to get Jacob Misiorowski off a team.
Yeah, and, you know, like, the most impressive thing about that on the stats, by the way, is right there, the second to the bottom, 0 walks. Like, that's the thing that's always kind of taken me back with him, is I'm just worried that the command issue, because the guy's a flamethrower. Like, he maintains his velo deep into games, which nobody else does. He's got, 100 plus every single timeout, but as good as all that is, it's not going to be great if you can't command the secondaries and you're going to have bad walk rates. That was always my problem. It's lowered. You're in the 8 range. You're getting into this is one of the better in the league with a 39.6% K percentage. So where I'm going with this is, at this point, there's really only one thing you hold against Misiorowski. And it's that he's a flamethrower, is that he's this skinny 100-plus guy that you feel like his arm is going to fall off. So it's a speculative arm falling off. What I said yesterday, and I'm fully acknowledging, I was the one who was kind of scared of him this year. I was just
I raised my hand. He's my number 1 Tommy John candidate.
Yeah,
for this reason. How many times can you throw 100 mile an hour in a game before eventually something snaps in there?
And there was a time where he was above the majority of the other guys, but it was always McLean and Chase Burns for me, which hasn't been incorrect. But the strides that Jacob Misiorowski has taken, legitimately, I think he looks like a top 5 fantasy pitcher in baseball. So, when we got asked that question yesterday, as someone that has been a little bit negative on it, I've just kind of turned the corner because I think the only argument at this point that really holds any weight is that you think the arm is going to fall off. I don't do that game. Bogman does that. You do that. Plenty of people do that, but I don't do that game. But if you take out this theoretical, he looks like one of the best pitchers in baseball. I mean, maybe even top 3, to be honest with you. He looks on the lines of a Garrett Crochet level of production. It's ridiculous strikeouts. The walks are going down, a 2.12 ERA that is supported by an under 2.5 ERA. No good contact against. So it's why get rid of that? Why sell high unless you think the arm is going to fall off? So I was against moving off unless it's a ridiculous trade you see, but he looks like a top 5 SP right now, if not better.
Yeah, I mean, if not better. Yeah, look, it's not without facts behind these feelings that Bogman and I have. I mean, if you look at the track record of guys who throw in the 98 and above range in the last 20 years, almost all of them have had it. In fact, I did a little deep dive because I know you love the deep dives here. Mm-hmm. The only 3 guys to be clocked at over 100 miles an hour in the starting pitcher grouping are guys named Nolan Ryan, Bob Feller, and Randy Johnson. And then the guys after that who have been clocked in the modern day era who haven't all happen to be relievers. Aroldis Chapman, Mason Miller, and Yohan Duran. So all the other starting pitchers who've been clocked somewhere around 100 mile an hour at some point in time have had Tommy John surgery.
But is that
I think is just really interesting?
It is actually very interesting. But like when you look at Jacob Misiorowski and you kind of go through this process
too, which is bigger than a lot of the other guys, which is the other caveat about him physically. He's a little different than some of the other guys.
Yeah, it makes it like the release point. It just looks weird.
Sure.
But like in this argument of you think his arm is going to fall off at some point, is that deterring you? Like, let me ask you a question in fantasy. Who would you rather? Jacob Misiorowski or Yamamoto rest of season?
Yamamoto.
I'm going to take Misiorowski, and that might.
And I understand why, and I think you understand why. Like I think.
But so you think his arm is going to fall off?
That sounds like a poll to me. Put it on the poll. Put it up there on the poll.
Do you think that arm is going to fall off this season?
I don't know, but it's going to fall off eventually. Now,
but is that driving you to not be over Yamamoto? I think here's the biggest thing.
I'd have to look in. I'll tell you what. It's the biggest driver for me over at Yamamoto. Plus, I also look at the kind of pitcher that I think Yamamoto is, which is just a very advanced pitcher at this stage of his career, whereas Misiorowski is still blowing the ball by guys. I would also want to look at the innings high of Misiorowski too in the minor leagues, which I don't know off the top of my head. You might have a better clarity of that too. Once we start to get to like 120 innings this year and we start to get a little labor in there, that's when it's going to get really interesting. But look, I don't want to poo-poo right now. This is a fantastic start to the season for Misiorowski. He is dominant. I mean, I would say right now he is the best fantasy pitcher because of all the strikeouts he's given you. The strikeouts are just massive so far. So head-to-head leagues, I'm a little bit more concerned. In season-long roto, again, if he goes 150 innings and then has Tommy John, well, so what? He already gave me almost 200 strikeouts. So I'm like, okay. Like, I'm good. I got my Misiorowski stock. It's a little different, I think, league to league, structure to structure. One thing that's not different also, Shohei Ohtani just never gives up runs. We cashed our bet yesterday, cha-ching, the under, which was pretty small, 2.5 runs for the San Francisco Giants. Well, they didn't get any because the Dodgers won 4-0. Ohtani gave up 4 singles over 7 innings. That's it. 8 strikeouts. He's now 3-2. The ERA is sitting at .82 Welsh. Any thoughts on yesterday's Ohtani start as he now goes from 700 to plus 600 overnight for Cy Young?
Well, you know what? Pretty interesting race in the NL between Skeens and Ohtani, and I think you got to throw our boy Misiorowski in there. That's it's a pretty big fight, but yeah, dude. This is the first year that I'm trying to remember. Was there a pitching? There was never a pitching only year for Ohtani. It was a hitting only year without the pitching. We've never seen the Cy Young be more prevalent than an MVP case for Ohtani, and like that's definitely in line right now. What a ridiculously phenomenal. There's nothing to say. He like the SP Ohtani in your Yahoo leagues or whatever. Great value this year. Phenomenal value getting him outside the top 20. I didn't rank him high enough. I think I ranked him. I was one of the higher at like 19, the pitcher only version, but just wasn't high enough. He looks insane.
Yeah, it's been absolutely stunning for him. A lot of good performances yesterday on the hitting side and the pitching side. Byron Buxton 2 for 4 with 2 more solo home runs. He's been brilliant. Look, I think he could be a huge boon for a team too. If somebody comes knocking on the door for the Twins, Byron Buxton.
He's hurt today though. Something happened. He got like
Byron Buxton hurt? That sounds crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Wrap my mind around such a thing.
Yeah, well, no,
Iron Man.
Well, like his stats are ridiculous. I just did this big old fresh, by the way, overhaul of the rest of season ranks on Fantasy Pros. If anyone checks it out or it helps power the tools, and or cares exactly. And Buxton is just like such ridiculous numbers, and you're kind of battling the like. Can he continue? Will he get hurt? Well, guess what? He got scratched today due to a hip issue. So just keep an eye on
but
that.
he's not going to IL. It doesn't seem like it. Or anything
we don't know yet. Yeah.
Still, Buxton's been terrific. Daylen Lile also
Summers on the IL, so remember that.
Yeah. Next thing you're going to tell me, Royce Lewis is hurt. Not Royce Lewis. Daylen Lile, again, red hot this week. 2 for 4, another homer for him, and a stolen base, 3 RBI. Of course, I had to drop him in a league a week ago, so there you go. That makes a lot of sense. Mickey Moniak continues to have a great season, 3 for 5 with a homer. Continuing last year's breakout, 5 RBI as the Rockies beat the Pirates 10-4. He's up to 315, 358, 693 through 137 plate appearances on the year. The splits are still a little wacky, but still, Moniak's been terrific. Kyle Bradish, nice bounce back, 7 strikeouts. They shut out the Yankees. More on that Yankees game with the Orioles later in the show with the injuries. We're going to talk about Max Fried, so don't worry, we got it for you. Ryne Nelson, season high 8 strikeouts. Welsh, I had to feel good. You've been a Ryne Nelson backer for quite some time, and this was your opportunity here to kind of take a little deep breath because this was a much better performance from him.
I was a Ryne Nelson guy, but I also was like, we're at the point where almost no Diamondback is worth holding. We're still kind of there. I'll be honest with you. I think Ryne Nelson's just going to be kind of going through it. I will say once the clock turned over to May, he's been really solid. He's gone 5 2/3, 6 2/3, and 7. He's given up 5 total earned runs in that time. But the previous 2 starts, the last 2 starts in April, the dude gave up 14 runs combined. So there's inconsistencies. The Diamondbacks have the worst bullpen in baseball. Wins are going to be hard to come by. I think Ryne Nelson is a cool streamer. The 5 ERA is supported by a 4.5 ERA. Strikeouts are kind of Ryne Nelson's fine. He's probably a streamer. This is a really, really great start. These are the type of starts you can get out of him, but there's not outside of Soroka, there's not a Diamondback pitcher that you really should hold. And even that's a little dicey.
Dylan Cease starting to work his way into that AL Cy Young conversation. Another great outing for him. No decision, but 9 strikeouts in 7 innings, 1-run baseball for him. In that same game, Dalton Varsho had a walk-off grand slam, so that was fun. Parker Messick continues to be great. 6 2/3 innings, struck out 7 against the Angels. Sonny Gray.
My boy Dennis is doing autograph signing with Parker Messick today.
There you go. There you go. Sonny Gray struck out 6, by the way, in his return. 1 run, 2 hits. I still think it's an interesting trade target.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially after this good start. I told you, when he comes back, his value's at the peak, so you might want to kick that around. Let's do a deep dive on the return of Bryce Miller. Kind of a weird one here. 8 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and 5 1/3. But the velocity is up. Check out these numbers, too. Sitting between 97 and 99 here in the top pitch velocity. That's not necessarily his MO. So what did you make of this? Because Miller, despite all this high velocity, only had 8 swings and misses. So he wasn't really putting guys away. He wasn't getting a lot of strikeouts. But the velo jump, I think, is really intriguing from 94 last year to now 99.
Yeah, I've mentioned this before because I've had almost every year. This is the first year in the 3 or 4 years I haven't I don't want to say sat and talked with him, but I've talked to Bryce Miller for every single season, and he's a tinkerer, as I mentioned. He's always, he was the first guy I remember that was I throw 2 sliders. This is when it wasn't hot to throw a bullet slider and a sweep, because there's the gyro, there's the bullet, which are kind of the same, sweepers, all this. And he was throwing 2, and then he added this. So every year he's always tinkering. And the big thing this year is he's kind of brought back the sweeper usage, or at least in this start, because last year he barely threw it. This start, it was up 12%. But yeah, you're right about the velo. The velo's up 2 miles per hour on the 4-seam and the sinker. That's crazy. That's a crazy alteration. Also, the cutter, this is a weird one. The cutter, he's throwing a ton. That's his new tinker this year, but it's slower. But it induced nothing, no strikeouts. The top 2 pitches he threw between that split finger and 4-seam, they did nothing in the whiff and strikeout department. So, what do you make of it? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. Velo's cool and everything like that, but when you're pitching it to contact and you're not having big punch-out pitches, I just don't know what that looks like. I think it's super encouraging that you're seeing velo increases. You're never going to hate velo increase. I don't know what to make of his pitch mix changes where it's sweeper and cutter now. That theory should create more strikeouts, but we're going to have to wait and see, but you should speculate on Bryce Miller. Anytime you see talented pitchers with velo increases, just pick them up and let's see where that ends up going. But I'm not sure it's going to end up being something super cool because it doesn't add up, kind of what you were alluding to. It doesn't add up to have big increases and then no strikeouts. Yeah, exactly. It is one start.
But it is intriguing that, if you can get him in a deal in a package, just because the velocity is higher, I'm intrigued. I want to see where it goes because baseball is weird. Some days, guys are just on you a little bit, or sometimes you're, getting squeezed in the zone a little bit by the umpire. All kinds of things can be going on. So it's a very small sample of it, but I think the velocity being up is intriguing, at least, especially on a good team like Seattle.
And
so
one thing
I'm curious to see where it goes next.
Yeah, and I wanted to see the zone. Yes, okay. So this is exactly what I was talking about because when you go to player page on Baseball Savant, you can't find this, or I don't usually easily find this, but when you go to the actual game, you can find a few other statistics that are helpful. Specifically, the zone percentage of each pitch and then first pitch strikes. He threw an exorbitant amount of fastball and splitters, which, by the way, was his predominant pitches. he threw those bad boys all in the zone. A splitter is not necessarily a pitch you would want to keep in the zone. He had a 63% zone percentage on that and a 71% fastball. So those pitches were getting banged around because he left him in the zone, and he wasn't getting any swing and miss with that fastball, regardless of the velo. And then the other pitches, slider sweepers, 30% zone percentage. So that's just a weird. Everything he had, he was throwing in the zone, and it was, getting contact on, and nothing was creating swing and misses. So keep that in your brain for the next start or two to see what it's looking like. But he's healthy. That's a big key. And I'd rather have Bryce Miller than Ryne Nelson right now.
The poll is concluded, Welsh. 50% Misiorowski, 50% Yamamoto. So look at that. Like we split the peanuts and the Cracker Jacks in half.
Okay. I mean, I'm not. I don't know which way to think about that.
I think you either you look at baseball. You look at these two assets in two very specific ways, and you're either one kind of manager or the other kind of manager. And I think that's surprising, but not shocking that it was so close. So there you go. Let's talk about rookies. And now we have a pronunciation too. Henry Bolte. It's Bolte. You do say the E at the end. So that's fun because I found that out yesterday, watching him a little bit because I heard the announcer say his name. So I'm like, okay, Bolte it is. 2 for 2 sack fly, made a great play in the field as well. Now, he's only playing against lefties so far pretty much, so that's the only trick with this asset, Welsh, is that it does seem like, at least for now, in a bit of a platoon, but if I'm the Athletics, once again, it's like, you want to get other guys in the lineup, and I understand the structure of things over there. When you have a guy that's red hot, I don't know, man, it feels like you just kind of play him till it goes south and just ride the wave. But what'd you think of Bolte's performance last night?
Yeah, I thought it was very impressive. Multiple hits, made a nice diving catch. Thought he showed incredible bat speed. I mean, we have to see where this lands out, but he registered 79.1 on his bat speed. That might be specific to what we saw. And there's a percentage you can see of how quick do guys get to big bat speed. And Bolte would be, I think, one of the fastest bats in all of baseball. So we'll see if that continues to go, but he didn't chase. He wasn't striking out. He had hits. I think you usually don't want to see young guys sitting on a bench or being put in serious platoons. So, they're playing around with some of those things, but I'm not so sure if he kind of continues to keep rocking that this is going to have any massive major effect on his playing time. I see some people talking about Carlos Cortez. Carlos Cortez is ridiculous. They're at a point
he's
where
played well. Yeah.
They need to figure out Cortez and Bolte should be the guys that are out there all the time. Lawrence Butler, send him packing at this point. What are they getting?
Over the Lawrence Butler thing. We had a big look. If you want to hear about Lawrence Butler, we had a big conversation about that yesterday. Good YouTube stream too, as they always are. Great questions, great conversations, great times. Family, friends,
with great friends.
Terrific.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just go check it out. It was on yesterday. It's on the channel right now. All right. I spent all day yesterday glazing A.J. Ewing, and now it's time to glaze another New York Met rookie, Carson Bench, who's getting hot. 3 for 5 with a walk, a steal, game-winning hit. The baby Mets with a walk-off win. Crazy times. What a time to be alive. Bryce Eldridge, 0 for 4, 3 more strikeouts. So, again, I've been sour on the Eldridge. I'm not surprised about this at all. I'm not giving up on him long-term, but in terms of assets, to me, Eldridge is a guy that might take a little bit longer to work. I don't see him being a redraft asset. If you have him in a league and he gets any kind of good weekend together, I would look to kind of package him and send him off. Welsh, what are your thoughts on Eldridge? Again, another slow start game for him.
I don't think you'd be able to package Eldridge for anything in redraft at any point unless he goes off and has 7 homers in a week, and then you're going to be asking yourself, do you want to? I think he's just a cut.
A 2-homer weekend would get it. I think people peeked around. Yeah, people love the new toys, man.
But he's util only. He has no position. So
Fair.
No, I don't think there's any value. If you're done with Eldridge, which you probably should be, send him to the wire. And I think he's going to be kicking rocks. I agree with you. Long term, I'm not letting go of him in Dynasty or anything like that. But redraft, there's no value.
Yeah. Bolte or Ewing? It's Ewing for me. It's not close.
It's Bolte. We did this on the stream yesterday. I think I said Bolte over Ewing.
Still the same. Look, I don't think Luis Roberts is coming back. I've already made that very clear. Herniated discs, I don't think so. Zebby Matthews getting called up, by the way. So another young guy there, 25-year-old, got a 4.72 ERA, 1.52 WHIP in 34 innings at AAA. So we'll see how he fares. Robbie Snelling, that's the big deal here, though, for the rookie to talk about today, because Robbie Snelling. So much promise. What do we get? 1 start? We got 1 start, right?
One
start. We got 5 freaking innings. And he's got a UCL sprain, which means it's probably done now. Braxton Garrett's going to be taking over in the rotation. So do you want to venture a Braxton Garrett roster percentage here, Welsh, on the program today? Because he might be that guy I talk about on tomorrow's show. Actually, you know what? I might talk about it on today's show. And the waiver wire pitchers, I might make a change.
Oh, I was going to I had a different guy I was going to change to this guy because I was actually originally speculating.
Let's give the people extra. Why don't we do that? You get your 2 and my 2, and then we'll add Garrett. We'll do a bonus because we're
I'm going to change mine because I immediately went into speculation world that Thomas White might be the guy that we look at in the very near future because they brought up Robbie Snelling. The problem is Braxton Garrett had been really solid in the minor leagues, and they've already made the commitment that they want to see him. And
he's been good in the major leagues before too, Garrett.
Yeah, no, I mean he's been not recently, but he definitely has been good.
Hurt.
In 2003, 2002 he had mid-3 ERAs. I'd say CBS he's like 40% owned. I would say our consensus is probably like 10%.
Half of that, bro. 20% rostered Braxton Garrett. And you know what? I think a lot of people when they saw Snelling, they probably want to cut bait. You know,
look at that 6.5 on ESPN.
Oh, 6.5. Run to the waiver wire.
Yeah, but let's not treat him like Nolan Ryan that's getting called up to the Marlins.
You mean Nolan Ryan who threw 100 and never had a Tommy John? That Nolan Ryan? No, I don't want to treat Braxton Garrett that way. But I will say I think Braxton Garrett is a very solid 2-star pitcher. I think Braxton Garrett is a matchup guy. Again, before the injury, a solid mid-3 ERA pitcher when the Marlins were pretty stinky. Now the Marlins are halfway decent. They're a 500 baseball team.
Yeah, I
think he's appealing.
He's got a low. I'm not saying he's not appealing. He's got a low 2 ERA, 0.8 WHIP. He's done well at AAA. He's kind of dominated for sure. Not giving up like a ton of homers. Only 3 homers in 31 innings. Like I am intrigued, but like I gotta be honest with you, the upside of Snelling is much greater than being like, oh, I lost Snelling and now I got to pick up Braxton Garrett. Like I think Braxton Garrett is a serviceable lower end rotation. I'd be way more excited if Thomas White was coming up, and that's what I was hopeful for. Another injury, like they are one rotation spot away from bringing up Thomas White, but I guess it just doesn't make sense since they made the commitment to him. But I think he's a good like streamy type of guy to pick up.
Yeah. All right. So that's all the young guys today that we're going to talk about, but we have a game. We got game time, everybody. It's time for America's favorite new pastime. Guess who? That's right. Guess the player. Right here. Who's this player? Baseball Savant page will appear magically here as I wave my hand. And we're going to talk about this hitter who's gotten off to obviously a pretty solid start this year. Batting average has been very good. I will tell you about this player so far that he has been a surprise. He was mostly undrafted, I would say, unless maybe some really deeper leagues. But certainly a guy that I think has carried a lot of offenses in some ways that you would look at right now. And my point that I'm making about this player, Welsh, when I look at these stats, is I see a guy who's making a lot of contact clearly, which is great. But I look at the exit velo, the barrel percentage, the hard hit percentage, and I'm just kind of concerned that maybe, 7 home runs into this season that he's maybe somebody that's going to fall off a little bit. Any guess?
Oh, so you just gave the homer?
Or who this guy might be.
Yeah, you gave the homer total 7.
I did. It's a little hint there for everybody.
Yeah, I'm really struggling with it because the low K percentage. Somebody said this kind of intrigued me. I don't know if that's it. Someone said Liam Hicks, but I just don't.
Somebody said Ohtani, which is funny.
Yeah, I don't think it's Liam Hicks because of the walk rate. So super low strikeout rate, high batting average, really bad. Like overall, like underlying hard hit metrics. I'd have to see name, but really bad chase rate too. Mm-hmm. I guess I'd have to see names that spark in me because like it's not like a Carlos Cortez. I think Liam Hicks has a much higher barrel percentage.
What do you think of this name?
I'm looking at the other thing. What am I looking at? Oh, is that Ildemaro Vargas?
Well, that's the name that they're putting out there.
Well, I'm asking you. Is that Ildemaro Vargas?
Is it Ildemaro Vargas? Let's take a look. Is it Mr. Vargas? Oh, it is! It is Ildemaro Vargas, everybody. Good job there by Chanpei Poppy. So Ildemaro Vargas has been brilliant to start the year. But I think when you look at the Savant page and you see some of the metrics, like he's hitting 330 right now. Okay, that's cool. Like maybe he can continue to hit 300 because it's telling you the expected batting average is there. But the expected slugging is going to fall off by almost 200 points at some point because he's at 561 slugging and the slug is at 446. So there's a big drop off potentially there. He's not the youngest player. He's 34 years old too, so he's not exactly a future investment guy. So I don't know if it's a player, if the Diamondbacks fall out of it, that maybe somebody's like, you know what, Vargas could be a useful piece for us in a contending team. I don't know the way he's played this year. Almost reminds me of, remember a couple years ago when Jose Iglesias kind of hit a little bit and then the Mets picked him up and he helped get them into the playoffs. Like, he could be that kind of a player, I feel like. So what are your thoughts on what you've seen so far out of Vargas? Because you've seen more than most of us as a D-backs fan. And then looking at the Savant page, what do you think is next for him, and should people be trying to unload him?
I don't. This is one of those weird ones, dude. When you pick these guys, it's just like what's the point of picking on Vargas? Like Vargas was a fun pick. It's like Carlos Cortez. You pick up these guys, they are so much better for your team. You let them roll out. When they start to struggle, you just move on. You move on from guys like this. What really threw me off was the walk rate. I didn't realize he had such low walk rates from him. What is the long-term expectation of Ildemaro Vargas? I mean, I would say, dude is on all the negatives we're looking at it, like barrel and hard hit and stuff. I think what that is telling a bigger story is the massive ability to slug the ball. But at the same time, he increased his own percentage to an elite 92%. It's an absolutely ridiculous elite rate that he's doing it. He is got the ball in the air. I mean, that's that big key. It's so dumb. I always talk about it, but it's just if you take these pseudo quality guys, a guy that makes a ton of contact, and what's a change you can make, will get the ball in the air and pull it, and good things can happen. Arizona's a hitter-friendly environment. He's done that. He has the best pull percentage of his career. It's the best launch angle of his career that he's flown out, and it's that is a huge advantage for him. The homers are flying at home. They're not on the road, but he's hitting 300 across the board. I guess what I'm getting at is Ildemaro Vargas is better for your team than anything else. If someone wanted to trade for him, I understand it. I would not pace his numbers out season long. So if somebody thinks he's going to hit 25 homers and I would sell.
I think he's going to crash in the power. I think the power is going to crash.
Yeah, he's a super util guy. He kind of works like a platoon player because they don't want to play it every single day. So I think he's a solid bench player for fantasy teams. I think he's better for your fantasy team. But yeah, sustainability. Do I think Ildemaro Vargas is going to be a top 100 fantasy option? No, sir. I do not think he's going to be that. He's inflated on BABIP. I just think he's a solid player. But
I mean, Welsh, if I told you he's got 7 home runs now. If I told you the rest of the season when we look up at October 1st, he's got 10 home runs, would that shock you? He hit 3 last year in 120
games. It wouldn't
games.
shock me, but I think the way I would have said it is he hit 7 homers by May 14th. If the rest of the season he only hits 7 more, that I think is where I think he's going to end around 15 homers. I think he's going to have 15 homers. The Diamondbacks like to put him in the middle of the lineup, so he's got RBI and run opportunities. As long as he keeps hitting, he's going to be fine. But I think what you have to do is if you can put him in packages, if you're talking about selling, if someone's hey, someone wants Vargas, okay, that makes more sense. I just think he's a better player for your fantasy. Like Carlos Cortez. How the hell do you trade Carlos Cortez? How do you trade Ildemaro Vargas? Those guys are just good on you for doing it, but they're nice because you can have quick trigger fingers. You can get out from underneath if you have to. That's a fascinating one because they're just pieces of it that didn't click to me, especially the walk rate. I didn't realize his strikeouts were so low, nor did I realize he's not walking at all.
Well, yeah, he's just making a lot of good contact, but the problem is the slugging is going to fall off the map. For going from 560 to 440, like I said, I'd be shocked if he doubled the home run total rest of season. I'd be really shocked. I think it's good chance he's got 10 when we all look up. Better than that, then he's got 15. So we'll see how that plays out, though. But it was a fun one. Hopefully you enjoyed Guess Who. We'll bring it back next week. I've already got a guy in mind. We'll see how that goes. Let's do fun facts because Welsh loves stats. He loves wacky stats. Only 2 batters, Aaron Judge and Kyle Schwarber, have more Major League Baseball home runs than Shohei Ohtani since his debut in Major League Baseball. Only 1 pitcher has a lower ERA in 500 innings than Shohei Ohtani since Ohtani's debut. It's pretty incredible.
Only 2 batters have more home runs than Ohtani since his debut, and only one pitcher has a better ERA in 500
Jacob
innings.
DeGrom.
Yeah, so
Joe,
what you're telling me...
He's DeGrom and Schwarber.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
So what you're telling me is Ohtani's good. You put together stats to say that Ohtani's a really good hitter and pitcher. Just want to make sure I understand this.
No, I'm putting those 2 things together to tell you that he's an elite version of both in one human being.
Yeah.
And the perspective sometimes, even though we think he's great and we know he's great, when we see something like that, it just kind of... boggles your mind.
He's the greatest baseball. He's the greatest
baseball player that we'll ever see in our life. Period. End of story.
Yeah, like I just
ever lived.
I think you can be romantic about baseball and our growing up. Like I could be romantic about watching Barry Bonds. Joe can be romantic about watching Babe Ruth in his youth, that type of stuff. But like, this is the greatest baseball. That was an old joke, by the way, that was undersold. Shohei Ohtani is the greatest baseball player we've ever seen and what we're ever going to see when we're alive.
Yeah.
So,
look, Bo Jackson was great. I see Bo Jackson.
Great athlete.
Greatest athlete I've ever seen. Like, I don't think Shohei Ohtani could play in the NFL. I don't. I mean, he's a bigger guy. I don't know what position he would play, but
yeah, but
maybe,
is that
maybe quarterback? Like honestly, Ohtani's a pretty smart guy and he's got a great arm. Maybe he could play quarterback if he.
But is the marker of the greatest baseball player one that can play another sport? No, Bo Jackson hit 250. I'm looking right now. He hit 250 in his time. To his credit, in 8 years he had 141 homers. So like, had he played a full career, could he have gotten to 300 or so?
Oh, sure,
like, yeah,
but
he hit 250.
Right, but just think about too. Like again, it was like a part-time thing. Like it was like I do this end pretty much.
Maybe
so
Bo Jackson was one of the greatest athletes of all time, but again, the marker for the greatest baseball player is not that they can
for me,
be a
anyway,
good running back.
Lifetime.
Yeah.
All right, 3 up and 3 down. Max Meyer, who we also talked about yesterday, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts for him. I don't know. Welsh, you buying in now?
Yeah, I mean, he's just he keeps getting it done, brother.
All right,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So finally, I pulled you up there. Yesterday, I was kicking and screaming. Welsh trying to pull him up to my Max Meyer hill with me. Nick Kurtz, grand slam for him, and Framber Valdez, who pitched really well. 2 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and 6 2/3, but they did not get the victory. Bad job by the Tigers. You got to win the Framber Valdez starts when Skubal's out. You must win those games, and so far they've lost both of them. That's not good. Simeon Woods Richardson allowed 7 hits, 8 runs, 6 earned in the downs. Mitch Keller took a loss against Colorado, 6 earned for him. Yuck. And Paul Sewald, 3 runs, ugly blown save against the Rangers. Not too good for him. All right, let's get to the big injuries, and the biggest one is not Cal Raleigh. We think it's Max Fried because we think Cal Raleigh will be back, and we'll talk about that too because obviously he was hurt last night with that same side issue that was lingering, and now he's going on the IL, but it's the Max Fried elbow soreness issue that really has come to light, which is ironic because we sat here on yesterday's show and we discussed at length, what do you do? Warren, Weathers, who's going to leave the rotation? Who's going to go to the bullpen? And Welsh, being the oracle that he is, said, something will happen. Something will open up in this rotation and they'll both end up staying. Well, not 2 hours later, that very thing happened. Welsh, what's it like to look into the future and see it so clearly?
If that's what I said, then I do feel very smart.
You literally said that.
I feel very smart. I will say though, they said like when we saw this happen, like while we were doing the live stream, I think, and we were just like, oh God.
Yeah.
But after I mean, we still need to get, I think we're waiting at MRI or whatever, but Max Fried actually said he feels okay. He kind of hopes that he would go his next start. They've got to wait and see. It sounds like it's just going to be a little bit of missed time. This sounds, and I even warned it when we did the live stream. I was like, we got to be careful. This might be Joe Ryan 2.0, where we see, some thing and we're like, oh, he's dead, he's done, blah, blah, blah. And then it's not. It kind of was presented as that. So I don't know what level of worst case scenario this is. It seems the most likely scenario is that he's going to get on the IL, and then maybe it's 3 weeks or something, and they do it. The worst case scenario, we know exactly what it is. I don't think the best case scenario where he says he wants to make his next start is going to happen. But for him to even be saying that does kind of lean like, oh, maybe this wasn't, as bad as we really thought it was. When we hear elbow soreness. And
let's play a game. 1 through 10. 10 being Tommy John. 1 is I'm starting my next start. What's your panic level for Mr. Fried? Mine is 7.8.
At this moment,
pretty high.
I think it's a 3 or 4, something like that.
I'm still at 7.8. Joe Schmo's at 10. In the
if I'd heard nothing, and everybody was quiet and it was very ominous, I would be at an 8 right now. But
but you know what? Here's the irony: we heard nothing about Joe Ryan, and we were like, "Oh God, the sky is falling," and it turned out to be somehow okay. I'm happy that Max Fried's like, I was just a little concerned and I didn't want to push it. And that's smart, right?
You know what we should do?
Yankees, we're looking at postseason. What should we do?
We should have I mentioned this yesterday, and not to jump the gun too much, but we should have a board of like this many days since a pitching injury. And the fun fact is we'll never have to edit it, and we can just always leave it at 0, and we can just leave the board up, and there'll just always be an injury with a pitcher.
Well, it's funny because we do have another board regarding something about, counting stats and things like that. So why don't we see if we could get that up? Because, accidents happen in the workplace, and sometimes home runs happen in the workplace. But it's been 229 days since the last home runner, Fernando Tatis. So we're going to keep this going here on a daily basis because it's fun. Now, I hope we didn't make this graphic for nothing, because if he hits a home run today, then, you can check it up to our producer, Seth, who made this graphic up. But we'll update it tomorrow. So, Seth, this is the new thing now. You made this, so now every day you got updated. So
I said this yesterday when I mentioned this idea with Tatis. I was like, the only problem is like we're gonna push one to today. It's gonna happen. Is that really how many days it's been since he's hit a homer? 229.
Well, I guess because of the off season, I assume that's what he's taking into account.
Yeah, but we're almost a year. That's almost a full year. I mean, I guess there's still 3 more months or whatever, but I don't know. That seems like so many days. But yeah, we'll probably lose it today. But the fun thing will be, what if we don't? And we continuously have. I will have the glee I will have every day of putting together this negative graphic. It's just every day it'll make it. My heart will grow 2 sizes larger. Yep.
Gonna love it. All right, let's get to the other injuries. Cal Raleigh goes to the IL with the right oblique strain, so we won't see him for a month. That's my guess. So plan accordingly. Maybe if you sold him off that good game, you did okay. But yeah, it's rough. And it was a weird thing too, because you saw he was going to make a throw, I think it was, and his foot kind of touched home plate. He was in front of home, and it kind of slipped, and you could see his whole side give. And I was like, oh, that's not good. Sure enough. Nady Eovaldi completed a bullpen session Wednesday. He's on track to make his next start. Giancarlo Stanton is not coming back anytime soon, though. He's not showing enough progress. What a shock. My God, this is one of the worst contracts in baseball history, I gotta say. Juan Soto day-to-day X-rays came back negative. People were mad because he came out of the game yesterday and he was eating snacks in the dugout. So people were pissed about that yesterday, by the way. So
I saw the lineup thing. I mean, I guess I'd have to reconfirm it.
Soto's back in there?
Yeah, it looks like he's back.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. But it's just kind of like, well, if you're eating snacks, couldn't you play? I don't know. We'll see. Garrett Crochet.
I mean, that's the craziest thing you've ever said. If you could eat chips, you could play baseball. No, you can't.
You're making $1 billion. So you can't. Well, you could eat some beef jerky on the dugout, but you can't go stand out there in left field, huh? You do that. You smile and eating snacks.
You'd be a rough coach. You must be a rough coach if you can eat snacks. You can
I'm saying this is what the internet's saying. Mets Twitter was a buzz last night.
Yeah, Schmo Shmizapia 18.
What are you doing? I'm a great coach. I'm an excellent coach.
I'm not saying you're a bad coach. Is you're rough. Snacks equal playing time.
No, snacks. No, I'm saying what Mets Twitter was saying. I'm not saying that. Garrett Crochet, 20-pitch bullpen yesterday. All was well with that. Tyler Glasnow played catch Wednesday. That's fun. That's a good time. I love playing catch. Ryan Pepio had his season-ending surgery yesterday as well. Pete Fairbanks came back. Grayson Rodriguez might start Sunday. Maybe we'll talk about him as a streamer tomorrow. We'll see. Could be against the Dodgers. Francisco Alvarez is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks with a torn meniscus. Spencer Schwellenbach, remember him, Welsh? Well, apparently he is going to be starting a throwing program soon, so that's fun. He could be back at some point after the All-Star break. You buying that?
Yeah, I'm buying that. I mean, the bigger question is like, is he having snacks right now? Like, what level of snack is he in his pitching routine? But
I don't pay this guy $1 billion to eat freaking, orange slices and stuff in the dugout and fruit roll-ups, huh?
That's a better snack. Orange slices wasn't super great there, like you're eating snacks. Yeah, I think the time, like, I don't know what the timeline works like, but I'm a big Schwellenbach guy. I'd love for them to play it easy and him be in the second half. But for me to feel really good about it, we need to be not like talking about a theoretical throwing program, and we need to be like in it and working with it. Then I'll feel good. I don't know if you'd want to hold on to him. It's going to take 2 months. So unless you got an IL, if you have an IL spot, it's a really good time to go and slide him on there if you hadn't. But I'm still waiting a little bit, but good sign. Definitely good sign.
I wonder what his roster percentage is.
Probably like 5 or less.
Schwellenbach? 41 on CBS, but again, a lot of
that's going to be keeper leagues, yeah.
So that's good. I wish it would be like Sleeper, where it would, if you're in a redraft league, it showed your redraft roster percentage, and then vice versa too. Like Sleeper, can you just make baseball sleeper?
Well,
and they tease me because they tweet baseball stuff out all the time. Sleeper baseball, you can do stuff on it.
You remember 2 years ago when they created their account and someone was like, do you think, I'm like, why would they have their account out if they weren't going to have baseball? And then it comes out if they're like 2 or 3 years away. And it's just like having more to be competitive against all the other brands. I think it's a great idea. But a simplistic breaking away keeper leagues away from redraft should be like a standard, please.
I will move all my leagues there the minute that happens, if that happens. Just telling you. Like, elite app. Anyway, Ronald Acuña, not going to return this week, too. There you go. Let's go to the home run board. I'm stone cold. Ever since last week, I got, excited about, I'll take Juan Soto with you, Welsh, against the Diamondbacks, and that all went to crap.
You got all my bad
That's what happened. Somehow I got to go take a shower in my uniform after the show, like Cal Raleigh. Wash the stink off me. I'm still at 15, and I got to get a home run today. So, of course, I'm going to be going with Yordan Alvarez. Welsh, I don't think you didn't even put one in here today yet.
I know.
So I've got it. What's going on for you?
I was going through the process.
Welsh, welcome to the show. This show plan is like, I don't know. How many pages long is this? I don't know. 5 pages or something like that. He has 2 things to put in there, and he only did 1.
It's the first day I didn't put my home run in the whole season. It's very impressive.
I'm going to show sheet shame you.
It's like having snacks when you're not playing here, so I very, very apologize.
There's Welsh eating the freaking Jack Links over here.
I'm going to go with Jordan Walker.
Meanwhile, this guy's doing all the work.
I'm going to go with Jordan Walker. Jordan Walker going up against Lopez, going up against the A's. Big bombs, big fly, Jordan Walker.
Thought you were going to take Tatis.
I should have. Who are they going against?
I don't know.
They're not even playing today, I don't think. They are playing. But see, they're playing in like, wait a minute. They are playing in like 30 minutes. I forgot. Unlike the bets, I can do it. You know what?
I feel like if you pick Tatis and Tatis hits a home run, you should get 10.
Fernando Tatis. This is a tough one, too, because you're going against Kyle Harrison. I actually like taking Brewers on the other side because they're going against stupid Griffin Canning, who's got like a 6 ERA. But you know what? I'm going to do one for the boys here and the girls. I'm going to go with Fernando Tatis Jr. here.
All right, Tatis and Alvarez. There you go. I think if you get it, you should get at least 5 or 10 home runs worth.
Yeah, Wonky, can you confirm that I get a bonus? Least 2? I get a bonus if I get Fernando.
Not a bonus for calling Tatis. That's what I feel like. That's the most tempting thing if we put it out there. You get a bonus for picking Tatis. And like every week it just doubles and everyone keeps trying to take Tatis.
The harbinger of fun. No.
Boo.
Boo. I'm wearing the Padre hat too. I forgot. Right. So even more Tatis. Tatis hitting a homer today. What do you think the odds are on to hit a homer?
I don't know. Plus 300 probably for him.
No, dude. No, it was like 750 a week or 2 ago. Someone go look on Hard Rock Bet right now and tell me.
Speaking of that, what it is. Hey, Welsh, you know what time it is?
I think I might. The same place where you can find the Tatis home run odds.
It's time for the best bet
of the day.
With Joey P and the Welsh right here, brought to you by Hard Rock Bet, the sponsor of our show, Florida Sportsbook, and the home of all the NBA action going on, same game parlays, profit boosts, live betting. They got it all at Hard Rock Bet, and I'm going to go continue this hot streak I'm on with the Braves run line -1.5 at plus 132. That's right. For me today, it's all about Chris Sale against Ben Brown. I know the Cubs are good, but the Braves at home, I will continue to take them. Chris Sale has been dominant this year, and I think we're going to get continued good performance from this offense that despite missing Acuña, guys have stepped up in that void, and the Braves continue to show why they are maybe the best team in the National League. Welsh, where are you going for your best bet for today?
Well, you know what? If we were able to change it, I might have gone with a plus 525 for Tatis homer, first homer of the season. That's the odds over on Hard Rock Bet if you want to make that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to back the Phillies. And it's funny because it's kind of like a reverse split-y type of thing where you see Ranger Suarez, who's sporting a sub-3 ERA at home. You've got Jesus Luzardo, who's got an over 5 ERA. But Luzardo's been kind of inconsistent. He'll show us those monster outings. And I think this is going to be one of those where Luzardo is going to click in, is going to shut them down. We've seen Ranger get hit up a little bit. That Phillies offense, Schwarber hot. I think we're gonna roll with the Phillies on the full game money line. No first 5 or anything like that. Red Sox still kind of a disaster. Ranger has been good, but I think he's going to get hit up a little bit. And I'm going to go Phillies money line full game for my best bet of the day.
Don't forget, new signups, bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets when your first bet hits, plus your winnings only at Hard Rock Bet. All right, Welsh. Don't forget, everybody, also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Drop your comments below. Subscribe to Twitch. Get rid of those nasty commercials. You get a 1.5 times odds boost of winning our latest giveaway, the Cecil Fielder jersey from our good friends at PristineAuction.com. How do you win? Subscribe, drop your comments. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's very easy.
Super.
We want to give this to you this month. Welsh, I do think it's fair though. Like whatever the Tatis number is, if it's 5-1, 4-1, that should be the multiplier of how many home runs you get.
Agreed.
I think
if I should get 5 homer push, I'd be on the
way.
board.
It's a good bit for comedy's sake. I like it, but Wonky Penguin,
And listen, if Wonky doesn't believe in democracy and the word of the people and that if you want to be an authoritarian and you want to have a ironclad iron fist and the people want it, everybody wants it, it's fun, it's good for the show, it's really good for everybody except for you. If that's what you believe in, then what can we do? What can we do if Wonky is an authoritarian?
There you go. All right. Even the person at the top, of the board saying I'll allow it. What are you going to do? All right. Well, good times, everybody. We'll be back with a fun Friday tomorrow. Make sure you join us for the show. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. God bless America, Welsh. God bless it. It feels like a very American thing, a Tatis home run. I like it. Stars and Stripes, baby.
Nothing more American.
Stars and Stripes on steroids. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.